Yo, what's up? So following your intuition is following your soul path. When you follow your intuition, you are following divine guidance. So what's intuition? Like, to the logical mind, it contradicts the logical mind, because it's basically the opposite of that, right? The opposite of the logical mind. You can't use your logical mind to bring upon your intuition, right? It's following that silence, that divine presence within you that's not confined or limited. So a lot of following your intuition is about, requires you to be in your heart space. And that's why a lot of people can't tap into that intuition, because as a society we're so closed off in our hearts, and when we close off in our hearts, we take away our clarity, our discernment, and our divine guidance. We're living out of alignment. So when you open your heart more, you're naturally more in touch with your intuition, because that's where your intuition's coming from. That divine guidance within your heart that doesn't necessarily make sense to the logical mind, right? Like, it contradicts the logical mind. It's when you're following your intuition and your soul path, it can seem so out of the ordinary, or like you'll be kind of forced to do things that just don't line up with your logical framework, or your beliefs, or where you want to go in life. A lot of the time when you follow your intuition, it kind of leads you away from what you've built, I guess, in a way. It's like you're putting faith in something other than your logical mind, and it requires like unwavering faith, I'd say, because it's not easy following your intuition, because especially when you're not just following your intuition for one thing, or like certain parts of your life. It's like your whole life, and like your whole experience is following your intuition and your soul path and what your soul truly wants. And when you do that, it breaks down all the false identities within you, because that's what it requires to be more in your intuition, is a shedding of conditioning and old beliefs. Like, it forces you into the unknown. When you're following intuition and your soul path, like, you're basically like leaping into the unknown. You don't know where life's taking you, because you're not following a rigid guidelines, right? There's no rigid guidelines. You're just following where your heart's leading you, and it's like, it's uncomfortable. Like, for that sense of self, that your ego, it's uncomfortable. But in that is actually, that uncomfortableness is actually the process of stripping away false identities, and you're coming into like your truth, which is your true soul path. like true intuition is a soul knowing. It's not a logical knowing. It's not a logical concept that you can grasp in your mind. It's something like, it's a soul knowing. It's like you beyond thought. You just, sometimes you're pulled to places and it'll bring, like, you'll just have the weirdest, experiences, and you'll look back and go like, why was I drawn there? That's your intuition, like, drawing you there, bringing you there. But like, at the time you didn't necessarily like, okay, so I'm gonna do this today, and it's kind of like you were just like pulled to a place, and the more and more we allow our intuition to guide us, the more we're stepping into the unknown, and the more like the mental framework kind of just falls away, and we're just like it like requires faith. It requires faith in yourself, in knowing that you're being guided by something greater. And it's uncomfortable, like, but like, it's liberating you, following your intuition. And it can seem so out of the ordinary, like where life's pulling you when you're following your truth and following your soul path. And for people around you, it can just make like so little sense, because in this world we're taught to just follow the conditioning that's been put into us, and like, it's messy. But when you step out of that and you're following your own path, and you don't really care how anyone else perceives it, you're just like following your authentic soul path, you're following your truth, like, it can just shock people, or just like confuse people, because it's so, I want to say out of the ordinary, but it's so natural, like, for when you are following your truth and your intuition, it's so natural. But like, I want to say it's natural on a spiritual level, but like in the 3D world, in this physical world, it can seem just like such a contradiction, or it's like, it's it goes against the norm. But like, it's so natural when you're actually like in that, like, and when you are following your intuition, it leads to like dissolution of boundaries, right? Because you're no longer in these rigid beliefs of where you should be and where you're going. So in a way, you're just like flowing, and it's like your experience is just in every moment, and it's not like you're taken like a lot, you're taken, I don't want to say fully out, but like out of the past and the future, and you're more rooted in the present moment, because you're following your heart, and that requires you to be in the present moment, and whatever arises, whatever arises is like, you've just got to go with it, right? So it like, when you're following intuition, it pushes you more into the present moment, because you're not so focused on what's going to happen and who's going to, like, what am I going to do, how is this going to happen. You're just like, in a way, you just know like things are going to work out. And when you do follow your intuition more, you have more of a knowing of how things are going to pan out in a way. And like, I don't want to say you can see the future, but it's like it's like you just know how certain things are going to pan out in a way. Like, you just know that, especially when you come into a more solid foundation within yourself, it's just trusting, man. Like, you just trust things more, and you know that things are going to work out, rather than in that, doubt of things working out. And you like, life's so, fragile. But it's like you come into, it's less about what's happening externally, it's more about the foundation you've built. And yeah, when that foundation is somewhat I don't want to say solid, because it's more like truthful. It's you're less in illusions, and you're more in a knowing of life, and knowing that things are going to work out. But it's not for the faint-hearted, because following your soul path and following your intuition, it goes against like everything we've learned through conditioning. It's like you're going into the unknown, you're following the unknown, which requires you to let go of trying to know everything, of that control. So you're like relinquishing control of your experience, and you're just letting life take care of you. But that doesn't mean that you just do nothing, right? It's like you're following something greater, rather than just following what your mind's saying. So I don't know, this video is a bit all over the place, so hopefully it means something to someone. I appreciate you for watching. You have my love and gratitude. So enjoy your day, enjoy your night. Alright, see ya.